Sam loved to hike in the woods behind his house. He knew all the trails, every twist and turn. It was his special place, quiet and green. One sunny Saturday, Sam decided to try a new path he'd never seen before. It started near the old oak tree by the creek. The path was narrow and winding, different from the wider trails he was used to. The trees were thick on either side, blocking out a lot of the sunlight. It felt a little darker and quieter than usual, but Sam wasn't scared. He was curious. He walked for what felt like a long time. Usually on his hikes, he would come across familiar landmarks, a big rock, a fallen log, a small stream. But on this path, everything looked the same. The same kinds of trees, the same moss on the ground, the same pattern of sunlight filtering through the leaves. Sam checked his watch. He had been walking for over an hour. He should have reached the edge of the woods by now, or at least come back to a trail he knew. But there was nothing familiar in sight. He stopped and looked around. He could still see the path ahead of him, stretching into the trees. Behind him, the path looked exactly the same. It was like he hadn't moved at all. A little seed of worry started to grow in Sam's chest. "Okay, don't panic," he told himself. "Maybe I just need to walk a bit further." He continued on the path. He tried to pay close attention to any small details. A funny-shaped leaf, a broken branch. He hoped he could use them to find his way back, but everything seemed ordinary, repeating over and over. Another hour passed. Sam was starting to feel tired and a little scared. The woods seemed darker now, even though the sun should still be up. The air felt colder, and there was a strange silence. Usually he could hear birds singing or the rustle of leaves, but now there was nothing. Just the soft crunch of his shoes on the dirt path. He called out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" His voice sounded small and weak in the silence. Only the echo of his own voice answered him. Sam tried to turn back. He walked in the direction he thought he had come from, but the path still looked the same. It twisted and turned, and the trees on either side were identical. He felt like he was walking in circles. The worry was turning into real fear now. He was lost. And this path, it felt like it was going nowhere. Like the title of a story he had once read, "The Path That Never Ends." He shivered, even though it wasn't that cold. As the light started to fade, the woods became even more spooky. The shadows stretched and danced, making the trees look like strange, reaching figures. Every snap of a twig made Sam jump. Then he started to hear things, soft whispers that seemed to come from all around him. He couldn't make out any words, just a low murmuring sound that made the hairs on his arms stand up. "Hello?" he called out again, his voice trembling. "Who's there?" The whispering didn't stop. It seemed to get closer, circling him. Sam felt like he was being watched by something he couldn't see. He kept walking, desperate to find something familiar, anything that would tell him he was going the right way. But the path just continued, winding through the endless trees. Suddenly, he saw something ahead, a faint light flickering through the trees. Hope surged through him. Maybe it was a house. Maybe he was finally out of the woods. He hurried towards the light, his heart pounding. As he got closer, he could see it was a small, flickering light, like a candle. It seemed to be coming from off the side of the path, deeper in the trees. Sam hesitated. He had a bad feeling about this, but he was so lost and scared, any sign of civilization felt like a chance he had to take. He stepped off the path and pushed his way through the undergrowth toward the light. It led him to a small clearing. In the center of the clearing was a single old wooden chair, and on the chair sat a small, flickering candle. There was no one else around. Sam stared at the chair and the candle. It felt wrong. Why would a single candle be burning in the middle of the woods? As he looked closer at the chair, he saw something carved into the wood. Strange symbols that he didn't recognize. They seemed to twist and writhe like living things. A cold gust of wind swept through the clearing, and the candle flickered wildly. The whispering sound started again, louder this time. It felt like it was coming from the trees themselves. Sam felt a wave of pure terror wash over him. This wasn't just a normal path he was lost on. There was something else here, something old and strange. He turned and ran, back towards the path. He didn't look back. He just ran as fast as he could, his breath coming in ragged gasps. He ran for what felt like forever. The whispering followed him, getting fainter as he ran. Finally, he stumbled out of the thick trees and onto a wider, more familiar trail. He recognized the big mossy rock where he usually stopped to rest. He was back on a path he knew. Sam didn't stop running until he reached his house, his heart still pounding. He slammed the door shut behind him and leaned against it, shaking. He never went back to that part of the woods again. He stayed on the trails he knew, the ones that had a beginning and an end. But sometimes when he was hiking, he would catch a glimpse of a narrow, winding path leading off into the trees, and he would remember the whispers and the feeling of being lost on the path that never ends. And he would hurry away, a shiver running down his spine. He knew deep down that some paths are best left unexplored.